Today is for the boys. We're talking about comic books and women. So there's an article today. It is no secret that I'm a huge fan of the Rippaverse. Is what got me into reading comics, which is a very new pastime for me, but I consider it a pastime because I am making it that way, and Rippaverse has made it that way, where I'm still interested in every single thing that is coming out. But there is something else going on. So it's not just me being a fanboy for this kind of stuff. There is a bigger thing in the whole zeitgeist of the comic industry that needs to be talked about. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Rippaverse Saints and Sinners, which just it was literally a shadow drop. Just started 2 days ago. Saints and Sinners comic collection surpasses $100,000 in the first 24 hours and proves the power of independent storytelling. The reason why I'm doing this video today is for that second half of the title, proves the power of independent storytelling. Eric July, I mean, he had a YouTube channel for quite a long time. He's done all kinds of stuff. He's played music. He's been in all kinds of stuff. But when he decided to start the Rippaverse, when he decided to start his comic book company, I guess that's what I would call it anyway, it took off because he has absolute passion for it. He has no problem rubbing elbows with industry veterans, which is something that the modern day comic book industry is not doing anymore. He's basically taken everyone who did iconic things, and then they were shunned, and he was just like, you can just work with me. We can put out our own stuff. You'll have free creativity. You could do whatever you want to do. We'll place it underneath my banner. And look what has happened ever since ISOM #1. Look what's happened. It has absolutely exploded. This $100,000 in just one day. Saints and Sinners. Now there is I did pre-order this, by the way. Like I said, it just dropped. But this does have some really heavy hitters if you're into the YouTube sphere, which I'm assuming you are because you're right here watching this. The Rippaverse continues its upward momentum, and this time it's breaking ground with something brand new. The first ever anthology in the Rippaverse. Now, what exactly does that mean? What exactly does the anthology mean? Well, let's just go through some of the artists and writers that he has going on with this. Okay, so obviously Eric is going to write his. He's got a story. It's called The Weight of Restraint. We've got Chasing Ghosts by Heel versus Babyface. Everyone knows him from that epic Starfield. Is that what it was called? That epic rant that went absolutely viral. So like that's as the Kiwi. You got Across the Bear by our own not our own Drunk 3PO, but like my good friend Drunk 3PO, Jay David. He's got a place in that. And that is the cover that I got unknowingly because I like the cover the most. We got Bone God by Mauler. This is Mauler's first ever story that he's ever written. Yes, he critiques a lot. This is the first time he gets a chance to put the pen to paper. We're going to get something from him. Obviously, my girls, okay, they're not my girls. I don't own them. But my really good friends, I absolutely love them. They started out as horror directors. They have been writing for quite a long time. You hear me talk about Yaira a lot. It's one of my favorite characters in the Rippaverse. They have one of the stories in here, and it's called The Underdog. Some of y'all might know about this one little guy. I mean, one little push, one little YouTuber, The Critical Drinker. He also has a story in there. So this is what they mean by the anthology, because they are not all intertwined and interconnected. However, some things from the Rippaverse, you will have other stories from characters, and some are completely new. Now, one thing that I really like about this is the whole motif behind it, because as this article says, and as Eric July himself has said, described as this collection of 6 unforgettable tales that explore the gray areas of morality. Saints and Sinners delves into stories of vengeance, obsession, redemption, and the supernatural. Which one is which? I think we know which one Jay's is going to be, but this is not the safe, sanitized storytelling you find in the mainstream. There won't be race swaps. There won't be gender swaps because they're keeping their characters based. This is a universe teeming with mystery, divine forces, and characters who operate far from the conventional superhero mold. Yes, in the Rippaverse, superheroes are basically called accepts. Kind of in the same way that in the X-Men universe they're called mutants and everything like that. But that's what he has done. That's what he has done from the get-go. So it's going to be people in that universe that follow along those kind of storylines. Now, here is a quote from Eric himself. The whole thing, the reason why this all came together, and by the way, good on every single person who kept this a secret for over a year. It's about exploring the space between good and evil. We want readers to think, to question, to engage. And that's what I do. So, I mean, you best believe that I'm going to do a review on this. However, I'm probably going to wait a week or two until I do it, because if he wants us to think, to question, and to engage, I want other people to get their books first so they can think, question, and engage before I just go off full spoiler. I will not do a spoiler free review for this book. I'm going to wait about a week or two, and then it's just going to be me talking, pontificating, and I still won't show artwork from it. Don't worry about that, Saskas. But yeah, I'm not going to show artwork, but it will be a spoiler full review whenever I do this. That engagement is clearly working. Yes. Why? Because Eric is just good with his fans. He actually cares about his fans. He cares about their feedback, whether it be positive or negative, because I am not always giving him positive feedback. And they listen to it. Unlike traditional comic book publishers locked in endless reboots and forced messaging, which is exactly what they don't do, the Rippaverse thrives on giving creators freedom and giving fans what they actually want: great characters, solid storytelling, and beautiful art. And yes, even if you don't like particular art styles, there are so many artists that have now worked with the Rippaverse. There are so many artists. You can find something you like. There are quite a few people I've never heard from. I have never heard of, never seen anything from them. I'm just like, holy crap, that's great. Actually, they used to have fan art contests, and some of the winners got to at least have a cover, if not illustrate and like get a job with Rippa to illustrate the next comic book. So there is a lot of untapped and unplumbed potential out there that the mainstream is just not doing. And this is why I want to highlight this today, because he just can't miss. I know a lot of people, there are a lot of, shall we say, other YouTubers, we'll just put it that way. I'm not going to name names. I'm not here to like sling mud, but all they do is ridicule him and then don't produce on their own way. If you get what I'm saying, I'm sure everyone knows, like just by that little hint, who I'm talking about and what group I'm talking about. But there are, Rippa he's just like, nah, put up or shut up. He's a real man, real from the streets. Obviously, Saskas are in there, so I'm going to be interested. They do really great horror movies. They do really great stories. And I don't know if Deborah Carita is illustrating their story, but it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. She's also a great illustrator. We got Critical Drinker. That's my boy. That's one of the first YouTubers I ever fell in love with and why I got into this sphere in the first place. We got Mauler EFAPing everything for 10 hours at a time. Good gracious, his dick is raw. We got ads, Hills versus Babyface. Yes, that's our little bald silverback. He is absolutely amazing. I mean, I have both copies of Achromatic Green and Blue right over there on my night table. So I know Drunk 3PO knows how to write stories. He knows how to craft. Vindicta, hell yeah, is coming out pretty soon. So I'm just shouting everybody out. Maybe I am in my bubble, but you know what? They don't disappoint, and I don't think they'll disappoint you too. If you're into comic books at all, or if you want to get into comic books, this is a great place to start. They are, whoops, they are not bacon paper. They're like full-fledged books, every single one. This is just the one that I have right by. This is the Horseman. This is just the one that I have right by my hand. But yeah, they're like all like 100, 110, 120 page books. They're basically graphic novels, but they're sold as comic books, and it's so good. It tells such a good story. The artwork never disappoints at whatsoever, and I'm going to stop everything before I just come all over myself. This is Multi from Mouth of Multi. Y'all go check it out. Rippaverse is doing great things, and they are proving that independent comic book creators can and will succeed. I didn't even mention Yellow Flash. Y'all take care. Bye bye.